The following is an audio excerpt from the interview with William Sascha Riley conducted by Lisa Noelle Voldeng and was posted to Substack November 23rd, 2025. I just want to say that I'm not aware that these allegations and the information that's being provided by this man have been verified by courts or mainstream media. I'm sharing this for informative purposes only. You can go listen to the whole audio if you want to make that decision for yourself, how credible you believe it to be. This is about 3 minutes. When I come back, I'm going to talk about something closely related, in my opinion, and why it is I believe that political leaders are not pressing the articles of impeachment they talked about 2.5 weeks ago with regards to these files not being released in their entirety.
And Samantha was the runaway that Riley.
Yes, the runaway that she lived in a brothel, basically a house where they had 4 or 5 underage girls that they had scooped up from wherever they got them from, and they would use those girls at these parties. Well, at one time they sent me to go be a part of that brothel. So that's when I made friends with Samantha, Patricia, and Sarah, and those are the only 3 that I can remember their names. But Sarah committed suicide, Samantha was tortured to death, and Patricia was the girl that got shot in the bed before Trump came in.
Did Patricia die?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Samantha, Patricia, and Sarah, and all 3 died.
Yes. Yes.
So Samantha was the runaway that was murdered by your adoptive parents.
Yes.
Patricia committed suicide. Sarah committed suicide, and Patricia
Yes.
was murdered in the bed before Trump came in. And then they threatened
Yes.
you and said to let Trump do whatever Trump wanted to do to you, or they would shoot you in the head as well.
Yes.
I really want to understand why it has become a priority to introduce actual articles of impeachment against Secretary Noem, but not against those who have failed to comply with the Epstein Files Transparency Act. As of just yesterday, U.S. Representative Robin Kelly of Illinois formally introduced articles of impeachment against Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. So far, 70 members of Congress have co-sponsored Representative Kelly's impeachment resolution. This is what Representative Kelly said. Secretary Noem has brought her reign of terror to Chicago, LA, Minneapolis, and communities from north to south, east to west. She needs to be impeached for her actions. Secretary Noem has called my impeachment effort silly. I want to tell her right now, you have violated your oath of office and there will be consequences. I am watching you. So then why is this happening? Epstein Files Special Master could be named next week and may speed up release. I have been waiting for 2.5 weeks or more for this man and Thomas Massie to file their formal articles of impeachment, which Representative Ro Khanna has said on at least a couple occasions I've heard that wasn't their first course of action. He had talked about holding Pam Bondi in inherent contempt. He had talked about fines. He had talked about a 30-day grace period. None of those things materialized. And now you have lawmakers wanting an independent special master to oversee the Trump administration's release of its files on Jeffrey Epstein, potentially helping to ensure all the files will be made public after the government broke the law to comply with the law mandating their release. The Justice Department was legally required to make all its documents on Epstein public by December 19th. That was 26 days ago, almost a month ago, but has so far only released a small subset of the materials and not given any clarity on when the full files will come out. So let me get this straight. Every single Republican in the Congress except Chip Roy and every single Republican in the Senate voted for the Epstein Files Transparency Act. But yet they broke the law 26 days now, have not complied with the law that every Republican voted for. Is that what I'm supposed to believe? The DOJ's failure to release the files has raised speculation among critics that the government will further delay making the files public and keep some documents hidden entirely, sparking the need for a third party to ensure all the documents and electronically stored information are immediately made public, Kana and Massey wrote. They are going to try to convince us as American citizens that what Representative Kelly has introduced was more pressing and has more support than if they had filed actual articles of impeachment against those who did not comply with the law that every single Republican voted for. That's not a pressing matter. In light of what we are hearing regarding information coming out of the mouth of a certain individual named William Sascha Riley, and I understand that that maybe hasn't been confirmed by courts or the mainstream media, but there is so much damning information, not just by Sascha Riley, but by all of those women who Representative Ro Khanna and Thomas Massey dragged to the Capitol to speak in front of everybody, to relive their trauma, and they can't get 70 people in the Congress to support articles of impeachment against Pam Bondi, Todd Blanche, those in the Trump administration that have broken the goddamn law for 26 days on a bill that all of the fucking Republicans supported, but they'll get behind in articles of impeachment regarding Kristi Noem. That is more pressing than the potential thousands of victims who have suffered at the hands of potentially those in positions of power right fucking now in the United States of America. I am sick and tired of this drag ass attitude. You are not going to convince us that the Epstein Files Transparency Act and what is contained is not pressing enough to file formal articles of impeachment, but what Kristi Noem has done is. I understand what she's done is pressing, but so is the fucking Epstein Files Transparency Act. These victims have been speaking out for decades. Decades. And it's starting to feel, and this might just be me, that there are people on both sides who just don't want this to go too fast, right? They just don't want this to happen too quick. But the American people want this to happen now, right fucking now.